Hey, so I wanted to share about chronic fatigue. This is a really frustrating thing, and a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people do from going through it. But if you have that fatigue or pain, you probably know a bunch of people in your life who don't get it because they've never experienced it, right? Like, yeah, they get tired, whatever, and that's what they say. Like, oh, you're just tired. Everybody gets tired. It's not the same thing. Like, of course, we're not in their bodies either, but those of you have experienced chronic fatigue, I think, know what I mean. And you might get that kind of feedback from your doctor too, where at some point they're like, hey, we've tested you for all this stuff. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're fine. And then it messes with your mind, like, oh, I'm fine, but I don't feel fine. I feel exhausted. Um, for me, I've had that since I was a child. Like, I had a lot of that fatigue going on even as a kid. So everybody's story is different, right? That's why I love Raylan's channel because you can hear so many different life stories and different ways to heal because we end up having to do it ourselves, really. I mean, find help, right? But like not from where a lot of us run at first to the doctor necessarily. If you've done all the tests and everything's fine. So I gotta think my childhood fatigue was related to the fact that I was struggling here and here, emotionally, mentally, right? Like I happened to have been born into a family and going to a school, living in a culture where I didn't fit well. I didn't like it, but I didn't know. This is what I want to tell children. Like, um, it gets better, right? Actually, a teacher said that to me in the hallway in high school once, and God bless her. Because I was like, what? Like bewildered. Like I didn't even know I was visible. Like I'm walking through the hallway of high school, right? Like black cloud, and she could see it. I mean, this touches me still. God bless her. Anyway, I'm getting really off track. I'm going all over the place, but that's okay. So I had the fatigue even as a kid, and I do think it's related to the fact that I had a lot of anxiety and I was very unhappy. And like I say, I was born into groups of people and culture that where I wasn't a good fit. And what's so important and what I want other kid, what I like want to say from this adult vantage point, right, to children and teenagers is like, if that is your situation, like there's a whole world out there where you absolutely do fit. I think we have a clue about this because we have the internet, right? And you can find anything like, hey, I'm like this, and other people in the world be like, oh yeah, so am I. But growing up as a kid, you're like, very in your own world. And if it's not a good fit, and maybe it's a dramatically not good fit, right? Like somebody who's gay, for example, where their family does not accept them. That's not my story. I'm just saying where it's more like obvious, like that. Or somebody like me who just like is quietly dying on the inside because I just don't feel seen, heard, felt. Um, appreciated. Like, I just didn't meet or have that reflection from people where like it felt good, right? I just didn't have that. So I don't need to go on and on about that. I'm just mainly sharing like I had that fatigue even as a kid. And so what is my point with that? Um, it carried into adulthood. And I guess I just want to share, like, what have I learned to get over that, to move through that, to have more energy, to whatever, like feel better. And it did manifest like chronic pain as well. So I would say getting away from that as much as possible, meaning getting away from like things that don't feel good to you, things that aren't in alignment with you, where you don't feel relaxed, you don't feel what you have to give, your real self, your creative, whatever on your insides, right? Like how you want to be with people and how you want to connect with people, that isn't happening. See if you can find where it is, you know, and see if you can let go of, you don't have to be mean, right? But distance from like relationships or whatever where that isn't, where you don't like ask yourself as you interact with people, how do I feel around this person? Do I feel better, worse? Can I stay in my own energy when I'm around them? You know, um, because like if you are having fatigue pain, then your system's probably already really freaking stressed, right? To where, a hair trigger, it gets to be like just so quick. A little thing can trigger that response of pain and fatigue and all of this. And so with retraining, brain retraining, and reprogramming our brains, all this kind of stuff, like I just think it's important. It's been important for me to be careful where I spend time, where I spend my energy, and at least to notice if, oh, I did this one thing, or I was around this group of people, or this person, or did this activity, and wow, did I have a flare up, or wow, did that crash my energy, or I lost myself. This is how I experience it. I don't know if it's similar for you. Like, I'm not in my own energy right now. However, whatever words make sense to you, like feeling relaxed, feeling good, it's not always roses, right? But like being in your own energy, not feeling you have to change you, that's exhausting, right? Not feeling you have to, yeah, change you. So that's one thing. What else? Of course, consuming foods that are healthful, right? Whatever that is, there's so many different ways. And for me, food hasn't been the answer, but eating in a way that is healthy for me is important, because I can get into like with the fatigue wanting a bunch of sugar, right? Or really eating unhealthy. And of course, that's not helpful. Um, I'm just saying I've tried many different diets and things, vegan, keto, I mean, paleo. Like for me, the answer hasn't been a particular diet. It's been other strategies coupled with eating healthy, trying to eat in a way that's like the right amount of calories, for example, for a day, for my body, for my activity level. Of course, trying to get, nutrients and, whole foods and all of this. So, anyway, what else has been extremely helpful for me? I'm not fully recovered. In fact, I've had some symptoms return, but that's okay, and, I'm excited to work with it. I don't know if I'm not excited that some symptoms have come back, but like it's humbling and it's making me zero in on, I hope, getting more and more aligned, right? Um, yeah, so being authentic, being around the right people, not putting yourself in situations that tank your energy. Maybe that's just the main thing I want to share today, and I'll share more another day. But I guess that one is just sticking out to me. So have a great day.